on the assignment. This is referring to text for evidence, and our big major anchor standard of referring back to the text for evidence and things like that. We changed it up like this so that they're spending time reading it at home and putting their effort into it. We want to be able to grade them on their good work, and we couldn't do that when they were doing the log at home because we can't grade homework. So this was our way of being able to grade their work. The log is the same, the assignment that they do, if you've had a child in 4th grade, it's the same sheets that were in the book log. They're just done in class now with their book next to them. And then this is the sheet. Just it's in their binder if you haven't seen it. Oh, it got all messed up. I'm sorry about that. But there's the due date. They're all over here right now. The way we did it is an informational is the first one due next Thursday. It can be about the water cycle or Native Americans or a current event article. They can choose which one they want to start with, and then the second one they can choose, okay, now I'm going to do water cycle because I did Native Americans first and my last one will be current event. However they want to do it, that will cut down on everybody checking out water cycle books at the same time, or everyone checking out Native American books at the same time. Now, I know we haven't been able to go to checkout yet. The first day we're going to go to checkout is the first week of September because of the Learning Commons getting all put back together and everything. With that being said, a couple of suggestions that I've emailed some of you and we've talked about is they may use a website for either the water cycle or Native Americans if it has a good amount of reading on it. That's the biggest thing. I was a little weary about this, but they can use it, but they need to print out the reading from the website so that they can use it for their assignment. So that's one option. Another option is do the current event article first. Don't have to get a book for that. You can find a current event article anywhere. Third option is there is a water cycle ebook through Macinvia if you want them to use that, and we'll just pull in laptops that they can pull up while they're doing their assignment. So those are 3 options because I know there weren't a lot of water cycle books at the public library, I was told. Native Americans, they can choose any Native American tribe in the United States. They can choose a general book about Native Americans, however they want to do it. Just as long as they bring in their book on the due date. Now, I know that's a lot of information. I don't have any questions about that. Does it make more sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If some people have seen the form that they use, but some of us haven't, can you email the parents a copy or tell us? Like,
it's mostly like they'll use their book for the narrative, for example. They're gonna put the theme. They're gonna come up with a character and talk about character traits of that character using text evidence from their book.
just so for the first time we can coach them how to.
Right. It's very specific to text evidence. If it's in the book, they'll be able to, and they read it and they know where to find the information right off the bat, then they'll do really well on it, kind of thing. Any more questions about that?
What was the website that you talked about for the water cycle?
There's an ebook on water cycle through our Macinvia that they can use. Macinvia. Oh, if you go through our Media Center webpage,
Okay.
through all the portals of that, I don't really know how to really get there.
Oh, you can find it through the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they should know their login. If not, I will get it to you all. I'm pretty sure it's Timber One Ridge one, but I want to make sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we have current event articles. Now this is something I started because I grew up in East Cobb. I went to Polk High School. I've lived in the East Cobb bubble. I knew what it was like going to college and being like, oh, there's a whole new world out there. Actually, it started in high school. My senior year, I took a current issues class where we had to watch the news every single day. I was like, okay, I'm going to start my 4th graders doing that now. So what I asked them to do is I want them to find a current event article each 9 weeks to share with the class outside of East Cobb, preferably outside of Georgia, but I'm not going to push it that far yet. And we've already had 2 come in. What they do is they read it at home. They can take notes. They don't have to take notes. But the big thing is they have to understand it. They have to understand it enough to come into this classroom and present it to the class. And so far, our 2 have done a great job about it. You're teaching the class about this event that happened, and then the class can ask questions and things like that. They may use the same current event article for this as their reading log. I don't mind. Questions about that? Did they tell you about current events? No? Yes.
It's like all this.
Some yes. Okay. Next. Birthdays. Please please feel free to bring in a birthday snack. We do have nut allergies, so we ask that no nuts in them. Our lunch is from 11:18 to 11:48, which is the best time to send in the birthday, bring in the birthday treat. If you want to send it in the morning with your child, I have no problem passing it out at lunch, as long as it's pre-cut or pre-packaged, so it's easy to pass out and no cutting is involved. If you have a if your child has a summer birthday, email me. With a date you want to celebrate in class, and we can celebrate it for the year. I know they always get the short end of the stick with having summer birthday and not getting to bring in their treat to school. So we're gonna do the best we can to make that work this year. Question, Alfred? Communication, email, check the blog often. I'll update it every week. Red Thursday folders, we don't have them yet. If you noticed today, hopefully you got a paper clip of flyer or papers from your child. But the Red Thursday folders were on back order. They will be here soon, hopefully. Those come home every Thursday. Please send them back on Friday. Big thing. Transportation changes must be in writing. This is a big thing that we're pushing throughout the whole school. If you look on the Timber Ridge website, there is a new transportation change sheet. It's not just for bus changes anymore. It's for any transportation page that you can just print off, fill out, and send it in. No transportation changes are going to be accepted in writing, or not in writing this year, if you are changing them to a bus. Does that make sense? If you know how sometimes you have to call in and make a transportation change or fax it in. If you're changing it to a bus, they're not going to let it happen this year, just because we have no way of making sure that it's actually you on the phone and things like that. And sometimes the fax doesn't work. So just best thing for you to do, send it in a note or bring a note up to the school, however you want to do it. With transportation changes, after school programs are starting soon, like the activities like bringing builders and things like that. For the first week of activities, just send in a note saying so-and-so is going to chess every Friday until it's over this semester. That'll work for the whole semester, but please send it in for the first week. Conferences are in October. Check my blog for weekly updates. You'll find a weekly update there by Monday afternoons. Usually I try to do it on Sunday about the whole week, what's coming up, what we're learning, when the test will be, what the homework is. Try to post a lot of links and presentations we do in class, activities we do in class. Check it as much as you can. You'll find a lot of information there. Grades, okay. 3rd grade, you get 3, 2, 1s. 4th grade, you get A, B, C, D, F. We're to the traditional grading system now. This is a big jump for them. And I wanted to mention that because you go from work in class, assessment at the end of the 9 weeks, to a test pretty much every week in math, or every other week in math, or every 3 weeks in science, social studies. There's a lot more of staying on top of your work in 4th grade and making sure you're consistently showing that you're working hard, as opposed to how the 3rd grade report cards worked, where it's 3, 2, 1, as opposed to averaging all the grades together. Progress reports will be sent home halfway through each 9 weeks, only to students with a C or below in a subject area. But I send homework every Thursday folder, so you'll see their work as they're getting it back. Questions about that? Yes?
Are these per subject or
That's,
general grade for 1 month for the entire curriculum?
so it's per subject. So there'll be a reading grade, there'll be a math grade, there'll be a science grade, a social studies grade, language arts, health. Yes. Health is the trickiest one to get grades for. I will tell you that now. Field trips. We are going on 3 field trips off campus this year. Off campus, we get lucky because the fire safety one is required by the county, so it doesn't count against us our 2. But that one is so much fun. If you've had students go for, they get to crawl around in a fog-filled room and try to smoke-filled room and try to escape like they would, crawl out of a window, how you would get out in the fire in the 2nd story. We get to drive go-karts in 4th grade. That's why you had to sign a waiver at the meet and greet. They're very slow go-karts though. So that's August 28th, that's in 2 weeks. We're going to Fernbank in March. The actual date is not set yet. It will be a Tuesday, but I don't have the actual date yet. Youth Museum has stars next to it because it is April 3rd for our class. That is the day before spring break. I want you to be aware of that now. If you plan to pull your child out, they will not be here. If you plan to pull them out early, they will not be at the school. So keep that in mind when you're making plans. If for some reason you do have to go out of town early, they're just gonna have to miss that field trip, unfortunately. Those were the only dates we could get, and I apologize for that now, but I wanted you to know as soon as possible, so you could plan ahead. And then we'll have like high touch, high tech, and our performing arts stuff throughout the year too in the school. Questions about field trips? Okay. Okay, You Matter. How many of you have heard about You Matter this year? So if you notice walking in, there's a giant poster in our hallway that says You Matter with a bunch of writing on it. We started it off the year with the theme of You Matter, trying to make sure that everybody in the class knows that everyone matters to someone, and you matter to everyone. And they focused the first week on I matter, reasons that they think they matter to people, and then they started turning it on other people to tell people reasons why they think, reasons why you matter to me because you helped me pick up my books in the hall when I dropped them the other day, things like that. So it's going great so far, they love it. We're going to try to fill up the poster. I'm hoping, I mean, it's going really well. It might be by the end of September. I was hoping by the end of December, but it's almost full. I'm going to leave it up through conferences, though, so that while you're waiting for your conference, you can write your child a You Matter note. It just is really building classroom community and really making them look out for the little things that people are doing. So it's going really well. And I hope it continues. I'm going to move it to an online board called Padlet, so you'll get more information about that when our poster fills up. But so then they can do it at home even. Everything else, the schedule is on the back of the class, on the back of the class list. Textbooks and spirals. We do a lot of work in our spirals. So, for example, we have a math test tomorrow. I said 3 times this afternoon, make sure you bring home your math spiral to prepare for tomorrow's test. Textbooks we have, they can take them home and bring them back. I don't mind. We don't use the science, social studies textbooks a lot. I think textbooks get boring, to be honest. So we try to use them as little as possible, but they do have good information in them. The social studies book has a lot of extra information and a lot of missing information. So it's kind of hard to decipher what they need to know and what they don't. The science one is pretty straightforward to our standards, just so that you know. Curriculum, you'll find out what we're currently learning on my blog every week. Spelling words, they get their words on Tuesday, but it's the Words Their Way books that came home that can stay home, so that if they're absent for some reason on Tuesday, you'll know what sort we're on and they can look up the words in the book. And the tests are Friday. And that's all I have for you, except for this presentation was done by Prezi that they can use in class, but they have to sign up at home. So they already have a login. If you want to take down the website and have them sign up at home, they don't have to. It's just another option other than PowerPoints, because PowerPoints are only so entertaining now. So that's
a little too blue. Can you like?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Prezi.com, Prezi.
Okay.
And what is this for?
It's for like if they put together a presentation as like instead of a PowerPoint, they can do a Prezi.
Okay.
And that's all I have. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Are they gonna learn cursive? I see it's at the top.
Maybe after